Hey guys, it's Jen, your Adult and Teen Services Coordinator here at MPL, and I'm here in the MPL kitchen with a few of my friends from the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub. Woo!
Hey!
And today we are making a microwave chocolate chip cookie. So we're going to take you through the steps, and we're going to talk a little bit about mental health and addiction supports available through the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub at the same time. So without further ado, let's introduce my friends. Aaron, why don't you start us off?
All right, so hi, my name is Aaron. I'm the Youth Ambassador for the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub.
Hey, I'm Melody. I'm Youth Lead at the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub.
I'm Amber. I'm the Youth Care Support Worker for the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin. I do the Youth Engagement Lead for the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub.
First, we're going to get started with what you need to make a microwave chocolate chip cookie. First up, you need a tablespoon of butter. Then you need a tablespoon of white sugar or granulated sugar. You need a tablespoon of firm packed brown sugar. And you'll need 3 drops of vanilla extract and a pinch of salt. Whoop. Don't drop it on your computer. You're going to need 1 egg, just under a 1/4 cup of flour, and 2 heaping tablespoons of semi-sweet chocolate chips. If you're like me, you have the bag over to the side for a few extras for yourself, just because. Good stuff. Let's dive a little bit deeper into each of your positions before we get started with our first steps of our recipe. Amber, you're the peer support worker at the Youth Wellness Hub. What does that mean? What do you do?
So I'm a person that has lived experience with mental health. So essentially, I'm here to help support youth in any way that they need support from a place of experience, a place of hope, and as a peer rather than like a clinician. So that could look like helping them navigate the system, talking to them about some of their concerns. So I kind of wear multiple hats, but
Kelly, so you're the youth engagement lead. So tell us about your role at the Wellness Hub.
Okay, well, my role is to make sure, I would say my number one role is to make sure that we are engaging with youth, to have them give voice and give their youth experience perspective to the project, so that as we're building this Youth Wellness Hub, we're doing it right for youth, that we're aligning the way this service is going to go so that it really truly meets the needs of young people. So that's my number one. The other part is that it's about promoting and letting our community know about the hub so that youth who are struggling know that there's a one-stop shop. All you need to do is connect to the hub and we will help you connect to the supports you need. So that's another aspect of the work I do.
So Melody, you're a youth lead. So tell us a little bit more about what that means.
Yeah, I'm the youth lead, and it actually means a lot of different things. You can be different kind of youth leads. For me, I sit in on a lot of the governance meetings, and I make sure that the youth voice is represented at those meetings so that it's not all just based on all these people with like PhDs, and it's actually from a youth perspective, as well as a couple of different projects. Anything that they need help with, they just ask, and I'm like, heck yes.
Aaron, you're the youth ambassador. Tell us about what your role is.
So there's 2 big parts to my role. The first one is similar to Melody. I help bring that youth perspective to all the governance tables. So making sure that whenever decisions are made for the hub, that the youth voice and the youth feedback is always taken into consideration. Also helping out with a lot of stuff in behind the scenes as well, making sure that youth are part of every step. The other part of my job is to also help coordinate the social media platforms we have for the hub. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, our podcast on Spotify, right? So making sure that all of those are well planned and it's doing its job to promote not only the hub and its services, but all the things going on in the community as well.
We're going to head into our first step of this recipe, and that is to start by melting the butter for your recipe. So I have my cool, trusty Read Books, Be Happy mug here. So I'm going to put the butter into my mug. I'm going to put mine in for like 10 seconds.
Mine's really loud, so.
Oh yeah, perfect. Mine worked well in 10 seconds. It shouldn't be too hot. It says like butter should be melted but not boiling. I love your mug, Aaron.
Thanks. It's a fun story. My parents got it for Christmas. They didn't know it was a TV show. They just thought it was for people who worked in an office.
Before we move on to our next step, I'll ask the question, how do youth connect with the hub?
There's a few ways youth can connect with the hub and access the services. One way is obviously by calling our hub line, so 705-427-5639. You can call or text asking for any of the supports that we offer. You can also, if you don't have access to that, you can DM us through our social media platforms for more information or wanting to access the services we have available. We're also, for youth who want to, they can connect with us by going on our website, where there is almost a self-referral kind of form. They can fill in the information that we would normally ask them on the phone. And so if they're not really comfortable with talking to someone, they can still access the services and supports that we have offered.
That's awesome. So you're really meeting youth where they are, wherever they are.
We're just making it as easy as we possibly can, hopefully. So.
I would say connect in any way you can. If you have an adult ally in your life that can help you connect, that's one way, or a teacher. Also, we're located at the new community health hub. So if you don't have access to internet and you're kind of out there trying to figure it out on your own, come into the community health hub. We're practicing safe social distancing and masks. So if those aren't routes that you can go on your own, then come in and we will support you safely.
So let's move on to our next step of our mug recipe. So our step number 2 is to add the sugars, vanilla, and salt. I don't know that was 3 drops, maybe a little bit more. Once you've got all your sugars and your vanilla in your mug, then you want to stir it to combine.
Is it bad to say I would just eat this as it is now?
So Melanie, how are youth engaged at the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub?
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways. One way is the way that I do it, and that's the way that I help other youth by participating in the meetings and doing outreach and that kind of thing. Or a lot of the ways that people do it is they call us for some help, and you participate in your care that you get here. So that's a really common way. Or you can do something like Amber does and help out with that care as well, which is really cool.
Like we have a whole podcast team.
Oh yeah.
We have a social media team, and they are made up of some influencers who help create our posts.
Amazing.
We have some youth leads, and we have school reps. So there's lots of ways to get engaged with events and parts of the project that we're doing. And then drop in, check out our virtual drop-in, or access some services if you need some support. So, yeah.
If someone is really interested in that advocacy for youth piece, where should they just call the hub line?
Definitely call or connect. One of the groups that we have for youth is our youth advisory committee, which is a group of youth engaged with the hub that that offer their feedback, ideas, and all the things that essentially help the decision making with the stuff at the hub at the higher levels. So if you're a youth who really wants to advocate for youth issues, especially during this time of the pandemic and everything, we meet virtually every month, and we discuss all the things going on, what new things to do, what things to change. So that's a really great way for youth to get involved with the hub, not just accessing the services and attending events and workshops, but also really being part of that whole process that the hub has.
And you guys are such a fun group. Like, who wouldn't want to be? I love working with you guys. Case in point, we're making cookies. When we're talking about youth for the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub, like what ages are we talking?
We're talking ages 12 to 25. We have some services like our youth drop-ins that are specific to one age group is 12 to 16 and one is 16 to 25. But across the board, we aim to offer services to anyone from 12 to 25.
All right. So the next part is really tricky. The next step is to separate your egg, the yolk from the egg white. We're going to use the egg yolk and not the white part.
I've actually done this a lot because I make macarons and you just use the white.
Ooh. Oh, so what's the trick?
I like to use my fingers as like a sieve.
Okay. All right.
I'll show you.
See, I do the kind of the same thing that Melody did, but with the yolk, like the shell, not my hand.
Did everyone's yolk survive?
Yes.
Woo! Now you get to stir that up. So stir it in.
I no longer want to eat this like raw.
Melody, it looks like Hedwig on your mug.
It does, eh?
Yeah, I love it. All right, my next question is for you, Kelly.
Ooh.
What happens when someone calls or texts the hub line?
Okay, so what happens is there's someone always at the other end, unless it's sort of off hours or weekends, and you can always leave a message, so they'll be checked. You'll get a nice friendly answer from myself or maybe a peer support. And basically, they're just going to ask you sort of what's happening, why you're calling the hub, what kind of supports you need. There's a few questions that we ask for data purposes because we're really trying to make sure we do it right. So by collecting data, we'll know who we're reaching and who we're not reaching and how to do it best. So we ask a few questions, and then really the work is in our hands to connect you to the right support. So we, on the back end, we have very clear, very smooth pathways to partners that are connected to the hub. And so I would then connect you to the right support. I would have a conversation with them saying, this is who you need to call. And you would probably get a call right from the service provider and things would get rolling in terms of whatever support you needed.
If I'm a youth calling in, how long does it usually take before I would get a call from a service provider?
Well, probably within the week. Can be even faster than that, depending on what service you're asking for, where it sort of falls within the week. But it's a fairly quick, a few day turnaround usually. Sometimes it's immediate, but usually within a few days.
And there are certain times of the week where you have pre-scheduled, like Amber's available for peer support, right?
Yeah, so Amber does Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4. So if you were to call the hub line and need peer support, you would probably get Amber on the other end of the phone, or Jamie, and Jamie speaks French too, so that service is offered bilingual. And yeah, you'd be able to receive peer support right away.
So we've got our egg yolk mixed in, and so now let us add in the flour. So this is like what they call a scant quarter cup, meaning it's like just under a quarter cup of flour.
Word of the day, scant.
And once you've got that added in, you can stir it again. Beginning to stiffen up.
Yeah.
Yep. Having to use a bit more elbow grease this time. Almost looks like peanut butter.
It does.
All right. My next question is, what are some of the programs that are offered through the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub?
We have a lot of programs and services that we offer. We offer mental health and addictions counseling. We offer education support, employment support, recreation. We do like our youth drop-ins that I mentioned earlier. We offer primary care. We have a lot.
Like, so when you say something like primary care, what does that mean?
That means that if you're a youth and you don't have a doctor and you need to have a doctor for whatever reason, physically or otherwise, vaccines or whatever it is that you need, basically the hub is meant to connect you to primary care support. So help you register with a doctor.
At the 12 to 16 group, I help with a team.
So what are kind of some of the activities and things that you do at the drop-in?
Yeah, we do pretty much. Brennan and I were like, let's make some fun on this Friday night. So things we've done in the past is like during Christmas time, we did like a Christmas charades. And a favorite of ours that Jen absolutely hates is we play Scriblio online. So everyone just connects to the website and it's like a Pictionary and you have to type it in and guess. and Jen just loathes it, and she's such a good sport. And then another thing that we do offer is Jen and Kelly are both there for assistance. If anyone wants to step aside and just have a conversation on the side, we can do a breakout room.
Well, right now everything is virtual. So our drop-ins are virtual, and everything that we're doing really is unfortunately done remotely or virtually right now. So I think that's kind of something to consider.
Kelly, do you find yourself being super inspired, being surrounded by all of these young people all the time?
They're the best part of my job, for sure. Rewarding and inspiring. You know, these youth are amazing. They amaze me every day, really. They're setting the world on fire one day at a time here at the Hub.
And let's set some fire to these cookies and add in our chocolate chips. So you want to save out a couple to put on the top, but other than that, put the rest into your mug.
Define a couple.
But I mean, like, it's whatever you want. You could bedazzle it with all the extras. Give it a final stir, mix them in. Oh, yours looks amazing, Melody. So the ones you say for on top, you go ahead and pour them on top if you want. Oh, great. That looks awesome, Amber. And if I'm a youth and I'm interested in partaking in some of the programs of the youth, but I wouldn't necessarily think that I'm there for mental health support or addiction support, can I still participate?
100%. You know, a lot of the services we offer, there's the clinical side of stuff, so primary care, mental health, addictions, but there's also, you know, non-clinical related supports like education support, employment support, especially for those who with summer months away, right? Like in summer jobs to think about, those supports are available for everybody. And as Melody and Amber mentioned, we have more recreational workshops and services as well. So we have our youth drop-ins, the occasional workshop that we have every now and then. So yeah, you don't have to be needing to access these supports to be able to participate in what the Hub offers.
All right, guys, we have come to the moment of truth. It's time to cook our chocolate chip cookies. But before we put them in the microwave oven, I will say, so it says to cook in the microwave for 40 to 60 seconds and start checking for doneness around 40 seconds. Don't cook it past 1 minute, because I didn't know this, but did you know this, that like once you take chocolate chip cookies out of the oven, they still continue to cook? Amber knew that? You knew that? I didn't know that. All right, so here we go.
If it looks wet, it's not done.
Mine was wet, so I put it back in.
I stuck the end of my spoon in and it came out clean. So I'm thinking that means we're good.
Are you ready to try it? Did you try it?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. It's hot.
Hot. It reminds me of like the cookies I used to get at like the hockey rinks.
And while we're letting our cookies cool off and enjoying them, is there anything else that you want people to know about the North Simcoe Youth Wellness Hub?
If you know someone between the ages of 12 and 25, or if you yourself are between the ages of 12 or 25, this is a one-stop shop. It's kind of a no-brainer at this point. If you need some supports, you don't need to figure out how to navigate the system anymore. Really, the Hub is there as to make it easy and to remove the barriers. So if transportation is a barrier, the Hub will help you. If you're isolated and you can't connect, the Hub is meant to help you. If you need supports, the Hub is meant to help you. So really, it's a one-stop shop for youth and families in our community to access supports barrier-free.
And if you're a youth in the area and you want to advocate for issues that you or your friends, something that you know is going on in the community and around your age group, reach out. And like we mentioned, we have our youth advisory committee, and we want to make sure that the youth issues are heard and that we work towards helping that through the Hub. So reach out if you want to be part of that. Also, we have a bunch of awesome workshops and events coming up soon. So keep an eye out on our social medias and all our social platforms to get up to date to what's going on.
If you know amazing youth doing amazing things, or if you are a youth that have accomplished something we want to highlight that in our podcast. We want to interview you. We want to give you a chance to have a stage and to share what you've done. So that's another reason to connect. So connect with our podcast team and be a guest on our next episode.
You guys do an amazing job. I think that it's a fantastic resource for the community, for young people and their families. And also, I would say for other organizations to work with you. You guys are fantastic partners. That's why it's been so easy to work with you as partners on things like this and the podcast and all that kind of thing. Keep up the great work. Thank you for all you do for the community and for the young people and the future of our community. So that is great. Thank you so much.
So big it pushed a hole straight through the sky. The ground beneath us caved